Shedeur Sanders has taken the college football world by storm, but today he's taking his talents to the NBA with the goal of bringing a championship to the state of Colorado. While Shedeur is one of the best players in college football, that isn't the case with the NBA, because being on a stacked Denver Nuggets team means he'll be coming off the bench. But that could be the least of his worries, because even though he has accuracy from deep with a football, that accuracy didn't translate to basketball. And when you have a former college football player coming off the bench for a franchise as good as the Nuggets, it was hard for him to get playing time as he only averaged 8 points per game in his rookie season. So after a rough rookie season, we're now moving on to year 2 of Shedeur's NBA career. A new season came with new challenges, and he was facing his biggest challenge yet. After Shedeur failed to meet expectations in his rookie year, the Nuggets released him. They wanted to go in a different direction, as in the upcoming draft, they selected their point guard of the future. They drafted a 6'1", two-way athletic phenom with NBA comparisons to Russell Westbrook, and he goes by the name of Travis Hunter. After seeing the Nuggets replace him with his former college teammate, Shedeur had one mission and one mission only: to win more championships than Travis Hunter. And in the offseason, one team decided to take a chance on Shedeur, as he would be signing a 2-year deal to join the Philadelphia 76ers. Unfortunately for him though, he was coming off the bench for the second season in a row. With more minutes and more opportunity, he was able to up his scoring from 8 points per game last season to 10 points per game this season. He was coming for that starting spot, but he still has a long way to go. 3 years into his NBA career, Shedeur was coming off the bench for a third straight season. He was showing glimpses of being a great NBA player for years to come, but with limited minutes, those glimpses came and went. He was making the most of his opportunity though, as he averaged 16 points per game. His 3-point percentage drastically improved from 40 to 46%, and he was slowly becoming one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. But after 3 seasons in the NBA, he had 0 accolades, while out west, Travis Hunter wins 6th Man of the Year in just his 2nd season. Shedeur has some catching up to do. Finally, in his 4th season, all the hard work he put into sharpening his game paid off, as not only did he sign a 4-year deal to stay with the 76ers, but he was given the starting point guard spot and now shared the backcourt with Tyrese Maxey. And with the increase in minutes that came with being a starter, along with the departure of Paul George, Shedeur dropped 36 points and 11 assists in his first start while shooting 86% from the field and perfect from behind the 3-point line. And in his first season as a starter, he made his first All-Star game. He averaged just under 20 points per game on the season, while Travis Hunter averaged 23 points per game and made the all-defensive second team. Shedeur didn't like that Travis Hunter was having a better career than him thus far, but he used this as motivation while training for the upcoming season. And all that off-season training would pay off, as Shedeur bumped his scoring all the way up to 25 points per game. But it would all be for nothing, as the 76ers missed the playoffs for the 3rd season in a row. And while Shedeur was going through it, Travis Hunter was making his first all-defensive first team and his first all-NBA team. And in the very next season, Travis Hunter would make the all-defensive first team and all-NBA third team for the 2nd year in a row, averaging 26 points per game. But Shedeur one-upped him by making the all-NBA second team and averaging 27 points and 9 assists per game. 6 years into his NBA career, and he was finally in his prime. His scoring has increased every season, and he was finally considered one of the best players in the NBA. There was one problem though. Things weren't going so great, as the 76ers were the 14th seed and missed the playoffs for the 4th season in a row. On to Shedeur's 7th season in the NBA, he had 1 year left on his contract. Ever since Paul George left and Embiid started to get worse, the 76ers have been one of the worst teams in the Eastern Conference. And this season was no different, as they finished with 29 wins for the 2nd season in a row, and they were the worst team in the league. Shedeur had a great season though, averaging 27 and 9 again and making back-to-back All-NBA second teams. But despite his individual success picking up, Shedeur was tired of losing. He didn't care about his individual numbers and just wanted to play winning basketball. In the offseason, he decided to sign a 4-year deal to play for the Detroit Pistons for a coach who knew a thing or two about winning championships. And he goes by the name of LeBron James. And on his coaching staff, he decided to bring along his former Olympic teammate, Steph Curry. In his first game with his new team, Shedeur and Ron Holland combined for 74 points. Shedeur was excited to not only play under LeBron and Curry, but to play with Ron Holland and Giannis Antetokounmpo. And in their first season together, Shedeur finishes 2nd in the MVP race and wins a scoring title, averaging 33 points per game, along with 10 assists per game, while Ron Holland finishes 5th in the MVP race and averages 27, 8, and 6, and Giannis doesn't make an All-NBA team for the first time since 2016, but he still averages 28 and 6 per game. And the Pistons finish with 49 wins to secure the 4 seed, which means that Shedeur finally makes the playoffs for the first time since his 2nd season in the NBA. And in the first round, Shedeur and the Pistons were going up against the Boston Celtics. But we can't forget about Travis Hunter, as on the other side of the playoff bracket, the Nuggets finished the season with 45 wins to secure the 5 seed after 5 straight years of being a play-in team. And both Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter pretty easily lead their teams out of the first round for the first time in both of their careers. So now, after establishing that Shedeur was the clear best player on his team, they were ready for their 2nd round matchup against the 1-seeded Raptors led by Cooper Flag. At least they thought they were ready, but they end up losing the series in 5 games because the Raptors were simply the better team. LeBron wasn't happy to lose in LeBronto, but there's always next season. Luckily for Shedeur, Travis Hunter and the Nuggets also lost their second round matchup, and both Shedeur and Travis Hunter looked to make it past the second round next season. And in his 9th season, things finally clicked for Shedeur and the Pistons as they went from 49-33 last season to 55-27 this season. And after finishing second in MVP last season, Shedeur wins his first MVP award, averaging 30-10. And on top of that, he became the first player to win a scoring and assist title in the same season since 1973. The Pistons were the 2 seed, while out west, the Nuggets were a play-in team again because even though Travis Hunter signed a 3-year deal in the offseason, Jokic left for the Nets, who were facing the Pistons in the first round of the playoffs. And with the league MVP on their team, fans were expecting a lot from this Pistons team. But they blew it and got upset by the 7th-seeded Nets. After winning his first MVP award, Shedeur lost to a play-in team in the first round. Not only did the Pistons underperform, but Travis Hunter led the Nuggets from the play-in to the conference finals, somewhere Shedeur has never been. And he didn't stop there, as a 42-win Nuggets team was somehow in the NBA Finals. And this team dominated to take a 3-2 series lead and were 2 minutes away from potentially winning the NBA Finals. De'Aaron Fox is going to pull the 3 from the top of the key and barely miss it. We got Ausar Thompson on the break. He's going to drive into the paint, force the layup, and that's not the shot. Travis Hunter with the ball is trying to get into the paint past Ausar Thompson. He's getting clamped up. He's going to give it to Nick Smith Jr. on the cut, and he knocks down the tough layup to tie the game up. Cade's going to use the screen. He gets the switch. And J-Dub's going to make the and-one on Travis Hunter. And he's going to knock down the free throw to give the Bucks a 3-point lead. Travis Hunter drives on Cade. He's going to get... Oh my gosh, he dunks on him. I thought he was going to take a layup. Now we have Cade trying to regain the lead for the Bucks. He can't get past Travis Hunter. He's going to give it to Sarr for 3, and he knocks it down, and the Bucks are now up 4. Things are not looking good for the Nuggets. Travis Hunter's going to pull the limitless 3. I don't know what he's doing. Now we have Cade on the break, giving it down low to Jalen Williams, who swings it to Sarr for another corner 3, and he misses it this time. Travis Hunter looking for a shot. He's going to drive, take the floor, and make it a 2-point game. The Nuggets need to play great defense here. They're going to double. They're going to leave Ausar open for 3, and he misses it. Travis Hunter's trying to get an open shot on Cade. He's going to spin, and he steps out of bounds. And they could have just won the finals, but now they're going to a game 7. And in game 7, we have a 3-point game with 1.5 minutes to go. Travis Hunter's isoing on Cade. He gets by him, takes the floater. He misses it, and he gets his own putback to put the Nuggets up by 5. Cade gives it to Usman Garuba in the post. He has Naz Reid on him. And Travis Hunter almost gets the steal. Willis pulls the mid-range, and he knocks it down. The Bucks need to stop here if they want to win. Travis Hunter's going to get into the paint, force the layup, and he misses it over Cade. And on the fast break, Ausar Thompson gets a wide-open dunk, and now we have a 1-point game. Travis Hunter's trying to get past Cade again. He pulls the 3, and he knocks it down. About 40 seconds to go. Cade gives it down low to Usman Garuba. He gives it to Ausar on the cut, and he misses the layup. And now we have Travis Hunter at the free throw line. His first free throw's good, and his second free throw's up. And the Nuggets are up by 6 now. And Travis Hunter leads a 42-win Nuggets team to an NBA championship. And he averaged 28 points and 2.5 steals per game to win the Finals MVP. After seeing Travis Hunter win his first championship, Shedeur was hungrier than ever, as replacing him with Travis Hunter had actually paid off for the Nuggets. And in Shedeur's 10th season, his teammate Ron Holland wins MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, while Shedeur makes the All-NBA second team, averaging 28 points and 8 assists per game. The Pistons clinched the 3 seed, finishing with 49 wins, and were looking to take that next step in the playoffs. And they found themselves down 3-2 to a 6 seed. It took Ron Holland dropping a 50-point triple-double and Shedeur having 20 assists to force a game 7. And in a game 7, the Pistons barely make it out behind 45 points and 11 threes from Shedeur, as they beat Bronny and the Hornets in the first round to move on to the second round and play the Orlando Magic, led by Franz Wagner. And the Magic were no match for the Pistons, as in his 10th season, Shedeur would finally make his first conference finals appearance. The only problem was that he would be going up against Cooper Flagg, who won 2 finals MVPs in just the last 4 seasons. And his experience would be the deciding factor in this series, because even though Shedeur averaged 34 points per game in the series, Cooper Flagg averaged 35 points per game to beat the Pistons in 7 games and win his 3rd finals MVP in the last 5 years, something Shedeur hasn't even done once yet. And in his 11th NBA season, winning a championship was his only goal. He already had the individual hardware, but nothing would mean more to him than getting his first ring. And using this as fuel, he wins his 2nd MVP award, averaging 31 and 11, and he leads the Pistons to the 2 seed. But there was only so much he could do, as the Pistons lose to the Wizards in 5 games in the second round. Time was running out for Shedeur, as he was 33 years old and entering his 12th season. He had a pretty good resume, but there was one thing that was missing. And things weren't looking so good for the Pistons, as in the offseason, one of the members of their Big 3 retired, leaving the team in a worse situation than last year, as they were 28 and 24 at the trade deadline. To win an NBA championship, Shedeur had to take matters into his own hands. And that he did, as he requested a trade and was traded from the Detroit Pistons to the Charlotte Hornets, and this proved to be a good decision as not only did he win his third MVP in the last 4 years, but the Hornets finished as the 3 seed. And in the first round, Shedeur was going up against the team he was just on 2 months ago, and he absolutely demolished the Pistons, averaging 37 points and 12 assists per game to help the Hornets win the series in 5 games. In the second round, Shedeur had to go up against the Toronto Raptors. He has some history with the Raptors, but unfortunately he's ended up on the wrong side of it thanks to Cooper Flagg. But Cooper Flagg was now a member of the Cleveland Cavaliers. So that leaves the question, who led the Raptors to the 2 seed? And it was none other than Travis Hunter, as in the offseason he left the Nuggets, and in his and Shedeur's first year with their new teams, they match up against each other in the playoffs. The whole series they went bucket for bucket, 3 for 3, dunk for dunk, and the Hornets not only upset the Raptors, but swept them to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. And with the addition of Shedeur, the Hornets were stronger than ever, sweeping the 1-seed Wizards, who had not lost any playoff games up until this point. And after averaging 44 points and 12 assists per game in the Eastern Conference Finals, Shedeur made his first Finals appearance in his 12th season at the age of 34. Going into this Finals series, Shedeur was averaging 39 and 12 in the playoffs and looked to keep it up. And in his first ever Finals game, Shedeur put up 48 points and 18 assists. Now that he was finally on the big stage, he made sure to take advantage of it. He didn't want this opportunity to just slip away from him. And things were looking rough as the series was tied at 2 games and Game 5 was tied with about a minute and a half to go. Shedeur's gonna run a pick and roll with the center. He throws it down low to the center. He takes the layup and the Hornets have the lead. And the Mavericks have 5 seconds left. We have Jaime with the ball driving into the paint. He passes out for the 3. And the Mavericks take the lead with 43 seconds left. They're going to put the ball in Shedeur's hands again. He's driving into the paint. He forces up the shot, and that was not a good shot. We have Brandon Podziemski with the ball. He's going to pass it to this guy who made the 3. He uses the screen, pulls the mid-range, and he misses it, and the Hornets are still alive. And now with 18 seconds to go, all eyes were on Shedeur. Shedeur's going to run down the shot clock. He's going to use the screen, pull the 3. He misses it, and the Mavericks take a 3-2 lead in the NBA Finals. And now the Hornets dug themselves a big hole, having to win 2 games in a row to lift the trophy. But in Game 6, Shedeur dropped 44 points to narrowly beat the Mavericks and force a Game 7. And in Game 7, the Hornets used their momentum to blow out the Mavericks behind a 50-piece from Shedeur, who played all 48 minutes to win his first championship. But the job wasn't finished yet, as Shedeur still needed to win more championships than Travis Hunter. He had a great season, finishing 2nd in MVP, but the Hornets somehow went from winning a championship last season to not even making the play-in. But the very next season, they were back on track as they went from 39 wins last season to 50 this season. Shedeur makes the All-NBA second team, averaging 26 and 9, and the Hornets take down the Sixers and Wizards to easily advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. But now the Hornets had to go up against a 10-time Defensive Player of the Year that goes by the name of Victor Wembanyama. And of course, the series went to 7 games. But ultimately, in Game 7, the Hornets would be the team to clutch out the win and advance to the NBA Finals. In his second Finals appearance, Shedeur and the Hornets were going up against the New Orleans Pelicans. And through 5 games, Shedeur was cooking the Pelicans, but in a Game 6, we have a close one. 11 seconds to go, the Hornets are up by 3. All they need to do is get a stop here. They're going to inbound it to Dylan Harper for 3, and he ties the game up. The Hornets have no timeouts. Shedeur has the ball with 5 seconds left. He's struggling to get a shot off. He pulls the shot and he misses it, and we're going into overtime. And Shedeur's going to win his 2nd ring and surpass Travis Hunter's number of championships. Both of them would go on to have great careers, but in the end, it would be Shedeur finishing with 2 rings to Travis Hunter's 1. Shedeur beat Wemby on his way to his 2nd championship. If you want to see Wemby become the GOAT, click the video on the screen right now.